Well, the key is hopefully now with we having a full house with DeMar Carroll and some of the other guys, we have Cory Joseph as a backup. It won't have to have a bigger load. I think when DeMar went down last year, it really put Cal kind of took it on his back and put a lot of a load on his body to carry the team and do a little bit more. Ultimately got into the All-Star game, but it took a toll on his body. And again, I think going into this year, we have a good roster behind him. We don't have to put a big minute load on him or a big load of responsibility on him because we do have some other guys at his position.
How's Kyle looking in these?
He's looking good. I mean, his weight is down. He's moving better. No, he's performing and competing at a high level.
Wanting your team to play more of a defensive mentality this year, will that allow maybe Kyle to put more offensive numbers, focus more on offense? Would you like to see that?
No, balance is the key. Not just offense, not just defense. I think everybody, we got to have a balance. We want to be better defensively as a team, but the key word for our overall game is just have balance. We can't be fourth or whatever it is on offense and 25th on defense. So we got to get somewhere in the middle of the road, and we want to be in the top 10 in everything, in offense and defense.
Luis was saying sometimes when he's with the new team, he notices himself pressing a bit more in training camp than he would otherwise, and if he's doing it, probably younger guys in the same situation are also doing it. Do you have to keep that in mind?
No question. I totally, yeah. They're trying to learn. They're doing things that they're not accustomed to, that they just come from a team where it's automatic what they do. I really don't notice him pressing. He's been doing a good job. Yeah. But again, guys coming into a new environment, it'd be just like you going to the New York Times or whatever. It'd be be a little bit different. So, but again, I think each player goes through that when they come to a new team.
Have you liked what you've seen with Luis? I mean,
just his overall approach. He's smart. He's a old soul. He's been there before. There's nothing that rattles him. He's talking to, even though he's going into a new system, he's talking to the other guys. He's a godsend for our team, just as far as his experience, and he's been there before. Other guys, we've gone 6 straight days or whatever, and he's still standing. I mean, he's durable. Again, as a staff, we got to make sure we don't wear him out because he's pushing through drills and, last man standing. Other guys are bent over at the knees, and he's still going hard. So, but we just have to be careful and make sure he has some gas in the tank in February and March.
How about with Terrence Ross? I know it's not been game action yet, but after the offseason, ankle.
He's coming along. He's not, I don't know if he's 100% yet after the ankle surgery, but he's knocking. He's one of our best shooters. He's more conscientious, and that's his goal this year, is to be a better defender. I thought last year was a bad year for him defensively. He can be a better rebounder, a defensive rebounder from his position. So all those things are things we're focusing on going into the season for him.
Do you get a sense with Terrence that he can play a little bit more freely as a coming off the bench guy?
He should be able to. The thing that I think will help him, Doug, is guarding his own position. He and DeMar was kind of taking turns guarding that big physical 3. And right, wrong, and different, it wasn't fair to him giving away those pounds. But there's no excuse. He still could have done a better job in those situations. But it should help him coming off the bench. But again, he's not coming off just to jack up shots. He's coming off to be a focal point with the second unit offensively. But at the same time, being a defensive stopper, have a defensive mentality, and not just coming in, okay, it's my turn offensively. And he understands that, and he's done a good job this week in carrying that role.
Have you seen any improvement in his ability to attack the rim, which was lacking in his game?
Yeah, he's trying to find the balance. It's tough because, if he's thinking drive, I think he's got to do one thing at a time. I think he's got to get his rhythm with his three-point shot, where it's automatic, more of a big-time shooter type mentality, catch and shoot, and then if they close out, to drive it. But I thought last year hurt him a little bit. He made his mind up to drive a little bit too quick instead of catching and shooting, and when the ball finds him on the weak side. So Once he gets that rhythm down with the three-point shot, I think that'll help him. Now, when they start flying out at you is when you can attack, and you may not be able to get all the way to the rim. You may be an in-between shot, and I think that's what he's got to figure out.
Bismack's obviously here for his defense first and foremost. Just a few years removed from, you know, wherever he was picked pretty high. Is there more to his game that he hasn't been able to show?
No, his game has been our defensive captain. I think his talking, his shot blocking, his protecting the rim is off the charts. I told him, you know, we had Tyson Chandler in Dallas, and we probably ran one play from the first play of the game, and that was it. And if you can master and be an MVP in that role, you'll be a huge benefit to our program. You know, you don't have to expand your game. You know, if he makes shots, I'm never going to tell a guy not to shoot it, but his role with our team is being our defensive stopper and captain, and, you know, he's an opportunity scorer. So we're really not looking to expand his game or take anything away from his game, but be an MVP in that role.
Dwane, DeMar Carroll was saying that with these location training camps, that it kind of helps the team gel. It's almost like a college atmosphere. Can that only help in the long run?
It will. I think guys, the guys can't go home or you know, they're around their teammates whether they like it or not. You know, when they leave and go back to the hotel or go out to dinner or whatever it is, or go upstairs for lunch. Whereas if you're back in Toronto, you know, the guys jump in their car and head home and see the family, which, you know, is not all bad, but you don't get to spend that quality time with your teammates. So I think that's what's being away off-site, it helps in that aspect.
I mean, he was 18 minutes or so last year. Coming into a younger team, yesterday you were talking about, you know, using two guards at once. Is it safe to assume those minutes, that those levels will kind of go up this year?
They should. I mean, they should, just because of the, you know, our needs of, you know, trying to keep the load off of Kyle a little bit, not as many, ramp up his minutes. I think that'll be huge, and also the opportunity to play those two together will be big, so it should ramp up his minutes. How much talk was there about that with Lowry and his minutes last year? Not a lot. I mean, we talked. You know, I think at the end of the season we talked about how, you know, his performance went down, his numbers went down toward the end of the year, and a lot of it was, you know, the wear-out factor. Yeah. You know, we rode him hard after DeMar went down, and
all through December. Yeah.
All through December, and his minutes ramped up, and, you know, so we have to be careful of that, and, you know, then. With that came a lot of nicks and bumps and bangs and throughout the year, so hopefully we can avoid that. But with Cory, we got Dwane is showing some signs of being able to play, so we'll see where those guys are as a backup point.